Russia in the 90s was a desperate place. The certainties of the old Soviet system were gone. What would replace it wasn't clear to anyone. Least of all to a young ex-KGB officer named Vladimir Putin. In 1990, he'd returned from a posting in East Germany and was out of work. But he did have an important contact in St. Petersburg City Hall. Anatoly Sobchak, his former law professor, would soon become the city's first democratically elected mayor. When he did, he appointed Putin his deputy and, crucially, to chair the city's Committee on Foreign Economic Relations.
He was the linchpin. He controlled which foreign companies could register their offices and receive offices. After all, remember, all this property was Soviet property. Soviet Union hadn't fallen yet. So how was a company going to get access to property to set up a branch in St. Petersburg? Putin. Putin would have to assign it.
His star rose quickly, and in a hint of image-making to come, Putin commissioned a documentary about himself called simply Power. But there were many sources of power in St. Petersburg in those days, some of them criminal. Sobchak needed a person who could work in the shadows, and according to political analyst Stanislav Belkovsky, Putin was perfect.
St. Petersburg called the bandit capital of Russia, gangster capital of Russia at that moment, and the mayor's office should communicate to those groupings some way. But of course, Anatoly Sobchak could not be involved in such contacts, and it was Vladimir Putin who was in charge.
But Putin had his work cut out for him. The collapse of the Soviet system brought terrible shortages, and there was little foreign currency to buy food abroad. To fill the shelves, oil and other resources were to be bartered. In his propaganda film, the deputy mayor assured hungry residents that food was on its way.
Масло животного 2,2 тысяч тонн, молока сухого 2,000 тонн. Значит, это фактически перекрывает все наши потребности. Но это впечатляет, я могу сказать откровенно.
The trouble was, most of the food never arrived. As despair turned to anger, a city councilor named Marina Salye was appointed to find out what had happened. Years later, she still had all her documents and was still clear about what went wrong and who she believed was to blame.
So, without going into all the details, I'll tell you from this document signed by Putin. All 124 million disappeared without a trace. Without a trace, because from this list of materials that I have listed, not a single gram of food came.
And what happened was fly-by-night companies were set up. Many of his friends who are still around today were behind those companies. The goods went out, and incomplete or no shipments came back. So millions were made just in that episode alone.
Salye turned the case over to prosecutors.
We concluded that Putin and his assistant should be fired.
The city council agreed, but Sobchak intervened to protect Putin, and it wouldn't be the last time that the mayor and his deputy would be linked to corruption.